everyone who's out there so far. Hello, Mark.
Sorry?
I said hello.
Hey, hi, guys. Hi, Karen.
We turned this a little early just so people can get settled in, and we'll just be tuning up and hanging out.
It's kind of a rainy day here, so there's nothing else to do. Might as well sit inside and have a show, right?
That's right.
All right. Oh, my spoons. Well, these should be.
So I think everyone, as you're tuning in, you can type in this chat box. Actually, I've tried to type in the chat box and it says you've already made that point and it won't let me type anything again. So
You already made that point. Wow.
So I might not be able to chat.
I want to mention those who watching, if you're interested in learning to play the spoons today, and who doesn't, you want to go, while we have a few minutes, go and find yourself a pair of soup spoons. The soup spoons work better than little teaspoons. So try a good, even if you have little hands, try a big pair of soup spoons. And if you have a different pair, try them, because different sets of spoons will fit a little better in your hand and sound a little different. So while we're waiting and tuning, go get some spoons, because later in the show, then you'll be all set. Just like this.
I collected my spoons and I forgot them in the other room. I'm going to go grab them right now.
All right. All right. So Karen's gone. Let's take over the show. Let's hijack the show and let's all go get ice cream. No, stay for the show. Okay. When she comes back, act natural, like we said nothing. But at 2 o'clock, we'll all drop our pencil, and that will just scare her right up her mind. Okay. So, I think you hear her coming back. I'm going to close my door too, or maybe I should. She's back. Okay.
What'd I miss?
What's that?
Oh, no, he's gone.
We didn't talk about you at all. We didn't say anything about you.
Now I'm worried.
All right, now I have to tune the spoons. Everybody stand by. I've tuned all the other instruments. Now, okay, perfectly tuned. You got to have tunes and spoons. Okay.
So, Mark, I'm not sure. I forgot to mention this to you earlier, but one of the people who may or may not show up for our concert today is a woman named Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins?
And she is an expert spoon player. So.
Wow. And she's an expert. And her name is Mary Poppins.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not dreaming this, right? This is actually happening? Okay.
It's actually happening.
Okay. Well.
So we might have to invite her up on stage.
Well, with spoons, there's not a lot to it, although I'm going to be teaching some special, there's the basic spoons, and then there's a few tricks that I can teach people, hopefully, as well. Even for those who play a little bit, we'll have some fun things for them to learn too, perhaps. We'll see.
Wonderful.
I think everything's about tuned up. Do we have an idea yet of who we have out there, of ages? Do we know any of ages yet? So if you're watching this, have you put that survey up there, Karen?
There is a poll. If you are here listening, there is on the bottom underneath us, there is a section that says polls. And again, first of all, let me just tell you, this is our first Crowdcast event. So we are learning along with you as to how to do this. And so I want you all to go to the poll. And the first question is, how many kids under 10 are here today? And so far we have 3 kids, 2 kids under 10. So we have 3 kids so far under 10. And the next.
They could type in, like we have a somewhere where they can just type questions and comments, right?
Yep.
So yep. They could just type in their ages and who they are and who's in their house listening. They could do that as well, I guess.
That's a great idea. Like I said, apparently I've said too much on the text, but you try it. and try to chat and see if it'll let us let us into the chat segment.
Basically what we're trying to do here, we're trying to find out who is watching, like what your ages are, and if you're by yourself, if you have your parents or grandparents, or your kids, your grandkids, who's out there, because we'll create a show that works best for you. So let us know who's watching and about how old you are, whatever way you want to do that. That'd be great. You can send me airmail is good. You can send airmail, a passenger pigeon, perhaps. Morse code works for me. Some dots and dashes, I think. Telegraph and telegram. So there's all. I'm an old guy, so I prefer fax. Actually, if you would fax me that information right now, that would be really, really helpful. Go to your grandparents and find a fax machine. Oh, man.
Well, I'm the only one here. I'm one person here so far in my house.
Okay. Well, I'm here in my house. I'm here. My wife is here, and my two daughters are home. One is home from college. For how long? We don't know. And my other daughter, who's just graduating high school this year also. And we are all here, and we're all getting along just great.
It looks like we have there's 8 people signed in. So I know so far. So I know.
Welcome.
That it's out there, but it is a little confusing. So there is, so far it says there's one person over 18 and there are 4 kids.
Great.
But
I'm not seeing anything on the scrolling text thing. Should I be seeing something there yet?
Yeah, nothing's there. So I don't know if people are trying and it's not working because it won't let me do it. And as I said, it says say something nice, but
yeah, I do see that. Say something nice. Maybe the stuff that they're saying isn't nice. Maybe that's why.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe we're all saying, what's this? I thought it was going to be a movie today. Who's this guy? So they can't say something nice. That's the old rule. Don't say anything down there on the screen.
Don't say anything. But there is, as we pointed out, there is a place where you can ask a question. If you tap on that, you should be able to click on ask a question or suggest a topic. If you want to tell us something, I'll be watching that. And the polls as we go along, hopefully they will work for us too. Again, we're all learning how to do this.
Personally, I think we're doing great. I think we're killing.
I think so too. We're here. That's step 1. Also, it says on your screen, and I just want to point out that I am not the Desmond-Fish Public Library. My name is Karen, and that's what it says under my screen. And under yours, it says Terry Rust. So we want to make sure people know.
Okay, right. Using my wife's computer because mine is junk, as it turns out. Apparently, my Chromebook's camera is worth every penny you paid for it, which is much. So, yeah, so we see Terry Rust, that's Mark Rust. But, when you get married, it's all the same thing anyway,
I do see a lot of people here. Well, it is a few minutes after 2. I do want to, first of all, ask you, one of our poll questions is, what is your favorite instrument? And it made me think, I wonder, what is your favorite instrument?
Me? What is my favorite instrument? It's interesting. I'm not going to skirt around the question like a lot of people do. It's like, oh, my children, I love them all equally. The funny thing about instruments, I'm going to be playing probably, 6, 7, 8 instruments today. It oftentimes depends on your mood, which is, like, imagine, for example, all your friends saying, which is your best friend? Well, you have one friend you like to party with, one friend you like to confide in, one friend who will lend you money. So you have favorites at different times. So the instruments are a little like that. So, for example, if I'm on a summer day sitting on my front porch and just having something cool to drink, I'll get the banjo out, and the banjo just feels great. Other times, if it's a fall day and the leaves are turning, I sit at the piano and suddenly I'm Joni Mitchell, and pouring my heart out. But I would say overall, my favorite instrument, the instrument I'm going to play, is called the hammered dulcimer. And I'll show you that in a little bit, but you hold little mallets or hammers and you hit the strings like that. And I love this instrument mostly because it's so different than all the others. And the music that I find I want to make out of that instrument is very different and much more interesting than a lot of the music I come up with on the other instruments. So I'm going to say hammered dulcimer.
Well, now I can't wait to hear it. I do have, there was somebody who posted a question that says, can you not see all these comments we are typing? So thank you for typing comments. And no, we can't. So what I am going to do is I am going to log in on my phone as a patron so that I can see all the comments, and then I can get back to the people and let you know what they're saying.
Yeah, FYI, I'm not seeing them either, but.
Okay. And Mary Poppins is here, and she has her spoons too, I've been told. I just got a text. Thank you, Jen. I'm going to log in so that I can see what's happening. And should we just get started? And I'll turn myself off.
Well, I was going to go out for lunch, but okay, I can start. Sure, that sounds fine. How about we sing a song? How about that? Well, thanks everybody for coming by the show. Here I am in my beautiful stage set. Isn't this something? I tell you, come on, it's worth every penny you paid to get into this show today, isn't it? Don't you think? Just beautiful. Anyway, my name is Mark Rust. Thanks for coming to the show. We're going to be. This show is kind of for families with young kids, but I think people of all ages will get something out of it and have a good time. Start with a little something on guitar, a song that you all know and that you can all sing along. Because when I was growing up, at the end of the day, my family would gather in the bedroom and we'd sing a song together before we went to sleep. And as my little girls were growing up, something we did with them as well, if you know the song, you can sing along. It goes like this. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. Like today, you'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. So raise your hand if you know the song. I can see you. See, kids know it, grown-ups know it, older folks know it. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. Let's sing it all together. Here we go. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Very good. There have been times, dear, you may remember, when all my days just seem like rain. But in the time since we found each other, you have brought me sunshine again. Everybody, here we go. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. But please don't take my sunshine away. Let's play it on guitar. Pretty good. I'm the best guitar player in this room. I'll always love you and make you happy if you will only say the same. So never leave me to love another, and together we'll remain. Everybody sing! You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Now, before we end the song, let's have a little contest. If you're in the room with some members of your family, and if you're anything like me, you are, let's have it just the kids now, okay? Let's see who can sing better. If you're in a room with kids and grown-ups, we'll try just the kids. Ready, kids? As loud as you can. Let's hear you sing. You are my sunshine. Louder! Sunshine. Make me happy. Sing it! Skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Oh, please don't take my sunshine away. That was pretty good. Okay, any grown-ups in the room? Let's hear the grown-ups as loud as you can, grown-ups. Do you think you can sing better? Here we go. You are my sunshine. That's a grown-up. Only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. Everybody now. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. But please don't take my sunshine away. Oh, please don't take my sunshine away. All right. Thanks for singing along. If you were singing, one of my favorite songs of all time, You Are My Sunshine. Now, I'm going to play a lot of instruments here today. And you guys have all seen guitars. Most people that are listening here probably have played a guitar at some point. But before I put the guitar away, just want to show you a couple things about the guitar. First of all, what do they make guitars out of? Wood, right. They make guitars out of wood. But musicians call the different parts of the guitar the same as the parts of a person. So when musicians are talking about their guitar, and they talk about this long, thin part right here with the frets on it, what do you think they call that? That was a person? Mm-hmm. The neck. So this is the neck. And if that's the neck, what's up here on the top where you tune the strings? Well, that's the head. So you have the head and the neck and the big fat curvy part, the body. So musicians call the parts of the guitar the head, the neck, and the body. So let's look at another instrument, see what's different, and kind of what's the same. Right over here. I don't know if you can see it, but well, you can see part of it. That's right. What do we got here? The banjo. I play a lot at schools, and I go into a gym full of kids, maybe like someone like yourself, and I ask the kids what this is. It's a banjo, and you have to hear 300 kids at once go, the banjo. Makes my whole day. So yes, this is the banjo, and one of the neat things about the banjo is, although it has its roots in Africa, this modern 5-string version that we have, one of only about 2 instruments that I know of, instruments that were invented in America, right? And it kind of has an American sound too, I think. When I go to other countries to perform, a lot of time people ask for the banjo because they say it sounds like America, and it sounds like something they don't have in their country too. So, the 5-string banjo, first of all, what's this long, thin part called? You remember from the guitar? Well, that's the neck. Up here on top, tunes the strings, that's the head. So kind of like a guitar, right? You have the head and the neck. So we have a head and neck like that also. What do you think the head and neck are made of? Get a good look at that. Go up really close to your computer screen. It doesn't make any difference, does it? Well, this is made of wood, right? Just like a guitar. So if you put this next to the guitar there, you can see it kind of look the same. But when they made the banjo, they took the head and the neck from a guitar and they attached it to another instrument. What do you think that instrument is? A drum. Yeah, it's kind of what a banjo is. A banjo is the head and neck from a guitar attached to a snare drum, just like that. And when you put strings over it, it has a really great sound. By the way, sometimes people ask me, you see this little rag I'm putting in the back of the banjo? People ask me, why do you put the rag in the banjo? They ask me that along with other questions like, why did you become a musician for a living? Well, that's supposed to be my parents, but you know. So the reason is because it's kind of a drum, has a hollow sound to it, right? And if you just strum the strings without anything behind it, listen to the sound. Kind of has a big, hollowy, echoey sound. Now watch as I put this rag in the back. You're going to listen to how the sound changes. Watch this. Kind of deadens the sound a little bit, cleans it up a little bit. So depending how close you put that rag to the head of the banjo, changes the sound. So play a couple tunes on the banjo. And what you can do is you can help at home by clapping along. You can stamp your feet. You can holler and yell. You can get up and dance. Or you can just continue to sit and stare at your computer. Whatever you like. Let's play an old tune. Sounds like this. song about a banjo, a very old song written by Stephen Foster. Most of you may know this song. It's full of a lot of jokes, actually. I think this song is kind of pulling your leg, but you'll see. And if you know it, just sing along. It goes like this. Well, I come from Alabama with the banjo on my knee, and I'm bound for Louisiana for my own true love to see. Oh, Susanna, won't you cry for me? Because I come from Alabama with the banjo on my knee. And if you want to sing in that chorus, it's, oh, Susanna, don't you cry for me. Because I come from Alabama with a banjo on my knee. Let's try that all together. Oh, Susanna, won't you cry for me? Because I come from Alabama with the banjo on my knee. Well, it rained all night the day I left. The weather, it was dry. And the sun so hot I froze myself. Susanna, don't you cry. Oh, Susanna, don't you cry for me. Because I come from Alabama with the banjo. Everybody! Oh, Susanna, don't you cry for me. Because I come from Alabama with the banjo on my playing mark. Everybody clap along. Oh, yeah. Well, I had a dream the other night when everything was still, and I thought I saw Susanna, girl, coming over the hill. Oh, Susanna, won't you cry for me? Because I come from Alabama with the banjo on my knee. Last time. So I come from Alabama with the banjo on my knee, and I'm bound for Louisiana for my true love to see. Come on, oh Susanna, won't you cry for me? 'Cause I come from Alabama with the banjo on my knee. Oh Susanna, won't you cry for me? Because I come from Alabama with the banjo on my knee. Oh yeah, we're having some fun now, right? Well, there's one more song that you can sing along, and actually this is sort of a do-along song, because this song gives you something you can tell from the words, and the words are going to give you different actions that you can do. So, it's a song by one of America's great songwriters, and some of you I'm sure are very familiar with him. His name was Woody Guthrie. And Woody Guthrie wrote a lot of great songs about America, and some of the songs you've heard of before, some of you may not, but a song that just about everybody knows that he wrote. He wrote a song that went, this land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Have you ever heard that song? Yeah, just about everybody knows that one. It's a great song. But you know what? Woody Guthrie had little kids. He had kids about the age of some of you out there right now. And he wrote some songs for his kids, and this is one I like. So for this song, all you have to do is do what the song says. Are you ready? Here we go. Put your finger in the air, in the air. Put your finger in the air, in the air. Put your finger in the air and leave it up right there. Put your finger in the air, in the air. See how it goes? And you can even sing along as you get used to the song. Here we go. Put your finger on your cheek, on your cheek. Put your finger on your cheek, on your cheek. Put your finger on your cheek and leave it for a week. Put your finger on your cheek, on your cheek. Put your finger on your chin, on your chin. Put your finger on your chin, on your chin. Put your finger on your chin. That's where your lunch goes in. Put your finger on your chin, on your chin. Put your finger on your ear, on your ear. Put your finger on your ear, on your ear. Put your finger on your ear. Leave it for a year. Put your finger on your ear, on your ear. Put your finger on your belly, or your mom or dad's belly. Put your finger on their belly, on their belly. Put your finger on their belly and wiggle it like jelly. Put your finger on your belly, on your belly. Put your finger on your knee, on your knee. Put your finger on the other knee, other knee. Put your finger on your knee and everybody go wee. Put your finger on your knee, on your knee. Well, you guys did pretty good today. But the last verse is a little tricky. So listen to the words and see if you can do what the song says. Are you ready? Say, yes, Mark. Ah. Put your finger on your finger, on your finger. Put your finger on your finger, on your finger. Put your finger on your finger. Leave it there and let it linger. Put your finger on your finger, on your finger. Last time. Put your finger in the air, in the air. Put your finger in the air, in the air. Put your finger in the air and leave it up right there. Put your finger in the air, in the air. Everybody clap along. Oh yeah. Finger in the air, in the air. All right, the banjo. There you go. By the way, the style of playing that I'm doing, a lot of people sometimes you see banjo playing like kind of finger pick for bluegrass music. And this style is called frailing or claw hammer. And if you have more questions about that, I can do it later. Just chime with the records and I'll show you how that works. But it's more of a picking down, a strum, and then a pick with the thumb on that high fifth note there. Okay? So any questions about the banjo, just type it right in. And we'll let you know better. Comments or questions, feel free to keep those comments coming in. And we'll break away from them from time to time. So I got a bunch of other instruments. Okay if I go to another one? What would you like to hear now? Oh, the fiddle? I have a fiddle. Okay, here we go. Look at that. Actually, this is the first virtual show I've ever done. And I'm enjoying it much more because I'm not bothered by the audience one bit. Okay, so yeah, so we got the fiddle here. The fiddle or the violin. By the way, our host today from the library, Karen, says that she, when she was young, studied the violin. So Karen, run and get your old violin and let's play along. We'll have a little fiddle lesson here. Yeah, the fiddle and the violin, they're pretty much the same instrument. The only difference really is the way that you play it. But like the other ones, what do we call this long, thin part? The neck. Up here, where you tune the strings, the head, and the curvy part, the body. So kind of like the guitar, neck, head, and body. I'm like a weatherman pointing backwards to things here. Oh, this is fun. So made of wood, neck, head, and body. But instead of the guitar and banjo, where you play it by holding it across your chest like this and strumming the strings, with the fiddle, you tuck it in. By the way, the fiddle, usually the name we call it when we're playing American country music and folk music. We usually call it more of a violin, maybe when it's jazz and classical music, for example, but it's all the same instrument. So you're going to take the fiddle, tuck it up under your chin, and now the way we get the sound out of this is we take this new part right here. And this is called the fiddle bow. Fiddle bow, right. And the bow is kind of interesting. It's made of a couple different things. You see this long brown part? What do you think that is? Wood, okay, like a lot of the other instruments. Down here at the end, this part, this little handle part, you know what that's called? I love this. This is called the frog. I know, right? So you have the frog, the wooden part here, and stretched out along the handle, along the bow. See this white stuff that's attached to it there? That's what touches the strings. Take a guess at what you think that is. Because unless you know, I don't think you'd ever figure it out. Some people think it looks like rubber bands. Some people think it looks like string, but it's not. You know what it is? It's the hair from a horse's tail. Okay, Say it with me. Ew. I know. Horsehair. That's what this is back here. And so they snip a little horsehair off of the tail and tie it up across the bow. And down at the frog here, the frog sits on the bow. And at the end of the frog, there's this little metal part here. If you can see that, that's kind of a screw. So see how the hair is really loose here? Watch what happens when I turn that little screw part next to the frog, okay? If you can see, but the hair gets tighter and tighter and tighter. Kind of stretches it out across the bow. And when you pull that horsehair across the strings, it vibrates the strings and sounds like this. So you put the fiddle under your neck, you pull the strings across. Now, long ago in America, maybe 200 years ago, I don't know if you know this or not, but families like yours right now, if they had to stay home, and most of us did stay home back then, we didn't have a lot of cities and towns. The way people would have a good time is they'd gather all together, and of course, they didn't have electricity back then. So if you went to a party, imagine all the things you couldn't do without electricity if you went to a party now. There'd be no electric lights, no stereo, no TV, no computer games, no phone, no microwave popcorn, and worst of all, no disco ball. How can you have a party without it? So what people used to do back then in America 200 years ago, they get together in a barn or a town hall, and they would bring in one guy like me, only not as handsome. And the fiddler would play the fiddle in the middle of the room. And people would play along and sing and dance, all kinds of stuff like we're going to do today. So the fiddler in America was kind of the home entertainment center of the day. And the interesting thing is the tunes that fiddlers play today are the exact same fiddle tunes that they've been playing in America for 200 years. And they sound like this. Now, if we were all together in the library, we'd get you up on your feet and do a little dancing, but you can do that in your house. What I want you to do is clap along, stamp your feet, get up and do a little dance. Here we go. Ready? Grab a partner. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah. Everybody go, yeehaw! One more time. Oh, yeah. Going home now. Big ending. There you go. Did you have a little fun with that? Were you clapping along? Were you hooting and hollering? Did you get up and dance? I hope so, because that's what this is all for. Okay, so I'm going to put the fiddle away now. And again, if you have any questions or comments about the fiddle or the playing, or you just want me to stop, it's happened before. Just let me know. I'll put this down here. Got some other fun instruments to play. Hey there, Karen. Look, it's our host, Karen, back from the library.
I know, it's been a while. How you been?
We're having a great time here. I'm having a ball. How about you? Now,
good. I just wanted to let you know that we have people here from Minnesota, New York, and Cape Town, Africa.
Wow. So the interweb really goes that far?
It really does go that far.
Amazing. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. It's great to see you here and spending some time with me. I appreciate it.
And it looks like we have ages between 7 and 90. So
Well,
we've got a wide variety.
that's my group, 7 to 90. That's exactly what I. Well, you know, the thing I always say about my shows is I have lots of different themed shows. This is kind of the family-oriented show. This is not, you know, sometimes as a parent, you take your kids to a family show and it's kind of not very interesting for the grown-ups. This is not dumbed down kids music. This is the music I'm playing today is all real music that adults enjoy. And I'm just trying to show a way for all ages, especially for younger ones who may not be familiar with it. Some instruments and some songs that people like. But this is all real music. It's not kids music per se.
Well, I think I can speak for everyone as I've been hearing comments here saying this is just wonderful. It looks and sounds great. Thank you so much. Love the humor. Everything is already humor.
There's no humor in this show. This is a serious concert. This is what I do for a living. This is not funny. Go on.
You are as good on live as live. Amazing. We have
You be alive. You don't know that. You know, okay. Sure. Any comments or questions out there you want to relay my way?
And I can see your comments in the text here. So if you do have anything, I will relay them to Mark now. I also wanted to say that I kept wanting to jump up and join in, but I didn't turn off my microphone. And so you'd have been getting me in there too.
Oh. Now, you were telling me earlier that you played the violin when you were younger, right?
I did.
How long, what age were you and how long did you play?
I started in the 4th grade, and I know that by junior high, I was still doing it, and they had the big concert hall area that we were in, and a friend of mine told me that I should probably just pretend to play so that no one would hear the squeaking.
Oh, that's awful. Although I have to, that's awful. Yeah. You know, I have to tell you, when I was a kid, I was not a great athlete. And I remember I was on a softball team and they said, just get up there. Don't swing at anything. Just, you know, either strike out or walk, but don't swing at it. I think that's the musical equivalent to don't swing at anything.
I think so.
I'm really sorry to hear that. You know, what I want to say at this point, I never studied music. I never took lessons. I never learned to read music. And I wanted to pass along that as you're growing up, especially if your kid's in school, a lot of grown-ups will tell you that if you're going to play an instrument, you have to take lessons, you have to read music, you have to play scales. Now, for some kinds of music, those are good skills to have and necessary skills. But for a lot of this kind of music, you don't have to do that. I don't even know scales. I don't know what the notes are on the page. It's possible to learn music by listening to music, having instruments in your hands, and playing till it sounds like the music that you hear. And that's how I learned how to play music.
So somebody did ask, what was the first instrument that you learned how to play?
Excellent question. And I want to thank my mom for that question right now. I have one right here. I'll show it to you and you guess what it is. Here we go. What is this? A guitar? No. Banjo? Mm-mm. Fiddle? Nope. That's where some of you already know. This is a ukulele. When I was a kid, about your age, Karen, when I was in, I think about 4th grade, I wanted an electric guitar. And I was pestering my parents I wanted an electric guitar in the worst way. And they did not want me to have an electric guitar. So they bought me a ukulele, was the first instrument that I had. And a couple great things about the ukulele. They're really inexpensive. You can buy a very nice ukulele for $50-$60, you know, and they're easy to play because there's only 4 strings. By the way, you know how you tune? Anybody who's ever played a ukulele knows how you tune the strings. My dog has fleas. That's how you tune the ukulele. But the nice thing is it's good practice for a guitar because the fingering is very similar to a guitar, the first chords. So if you can play ukulele, it's nice and light too. And it's, you know, easy to push the strings around. So the first instrument I had was the ukulele, just like this. And I would sing. My parents used to listen to show tunes a lot on the weekends, so that I had a lot of show tunes in my head as a kid. And we used to put on shows for the family, and we had separating the rooms one of those sort of accordion style doors. I don't even think they have those anymore. But we would get behind that. My parents would sit on the other side of the door, and we would we'd open it, and I would come out with my ukulele, and I would sing songs. I was just thinking of this morning for the first time. My big hit back then was from Oliver. I think it's from Oliver, the music, and it goes, "I'd do anything for you, dear, anything for you mean everything to me. I know that." So I would come out and sing songs like that. Everything, and then after a couple years, my aunt bought me my first electric guitar, and that was the end of the ukulele. But for those kids out there and for families looking for a good starter instrument, ukulele is a great start. Really inexpensive to buy, easy to play, and a lot of fun. You can learn 3 chords and you can play lots and lots of songs. So thank you for that question. But the ukulele, that's my first instrument right here. Any other questions or comments?
There is actually another comment. Our director of the library, Jen McCreary, made a note that she hopes we get to see you live one of these days soon at the library.
Well, that day is going to come. You know, one thing we have to remember right now is that eventually this will be over. And eventually, and it may be a while off yet, but that day is coming, and we will all get together again, because this kind of music is much more fun to share in person, absolutely. But I appreciate the library, sticking with this and giving this a try. I mean, as you know, on a somewhat serious note, as you can imagine, for musicians like myself, I know hundreds and hundreds of musicians. Our incomes and our careers evaporated overnight a couple of months ago, and so that's the serious side of it. So I appreciate anybody's efforts who's willing to try something, because it's not just the income; it's staying connected to the music and staying connected to the instruments and performing. Because without that, frankly, we're just like you, and no one wants that. So
you don't want to be just like me.
We're special.
Yes, you are.
But yeah, I look forward to the day we can do this together in person in the library. Can I tell you a library joke?
Sure.
Okay. Guy, this is my brother Steve. Guy goes into a library and he says, "I have a ham and cheese on rye." And the librarian says, "Shh, sir, you realize this is a library?" And he says, "Oh, yeah, sorry. Ham and cheese on rye." Library joke. Okay.
Well, my biggest library joke is, I want to check you out. It's bad. Sorry.
Now on my screen, I'm pointing to you. Are you seeing me point to you on your screen?
You're pointing the other way.
Oh, so this is to you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just so I know. Or I could be like the not the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland, right? Was it, well, you can go this way or you can go this way, right?
You can do that.
So, anything else before I move on?
Nope.
Okay. So, we're going to do the spoons now. We're going to learn how to play the spoons. So, as I mentioned earlier, if you don't have some spoons, go right now. Go right now while I'm speaking extemporaneously. Is that the right word, extempor? And what you want to do is grab yourself a pair of soup spoons, okay? Not the little teaspoons like you have your cereal with, but a good pair of, and this isn't just for the kids, by the way. This is for the grown-ups, for the moms and dads, aunts and uncles, grandmas and grandpas, and you cool teenagers. I'm going to teach you how to play the spoons, and it's actually kind of fun. So
I just got a note that somebody lost their screen, and I'm wondering if we've lost other people too, or if it was just them.
Take a second to make sure we got it ready. I still see.
You still see me. I still see you. Chat. If you're still here, can you give me a chat?
Yeah, if you're still seeing us, just give us a little poke and let us know you're there.
We can also just keep right on going, because somebody's bound to see us. Do you want to invite anyone up on screen? I do see there's other people that are still here. So would you like to invite someone up on screen, or you want to teach me how to do the spoons?
Whatever you guys want. If you'd like to join us on screen, however you do that, go ahead and join us. And you can, I don't know how you do that, but you can add them or something, or but they're fine, because I can show you how to do it. And if you're having trouble, I can point out exactly what you need to do.
Okay, so I just got a text saying we're definitely still on, so we'll keep right on going.
Okay.
I'm happy to be your tutoree.
So the good news is we're still on the air. The bad news is it's still me. All right.
And me.
Okay,
And the chat does not seem to be working. So yeah, we're going to give up on the chat altogether. To ask a question, I think still does work. So if you want to come on and be our guest and join us on screen live like this, put your name in Ask a Question and I will bring you up. In the meantime, I will try to learn.
Okay. Well, we're going to start right from the beginning. Okay. So first thing is just make sure you have some spoons. I know some of you are prepared. Excellent. If you don't have spoons, go to the kitchen right now, grab a handful of soup spoons. Okay, because we're going to try them out. But before I show you the spoons, put the spoons down. Okay, just put them down because I want to show you there's a rhythm that spoon players play. And it sort of goes along with the rhythm of the instruments. When the guitar is playing dum jacket dum jacket dum, and the banjo is picking bunk bunka bunk bunka bunk, and the fiddle, that's where you really get it, is playing this rhythm like this. That fiddle players call that rhythm a shuffle. Okay, that's a shuffle. And that's the rhythm you're going to play along on the spoons. I'm going to show you how to play that, but just first with your hands. What I want you to do is take the hand that you write with or draw with and put that hand up in the air like this. Put it down on your knee. Okay, let me get my knee up here. Back up in the air and back down to your knee and keep it there. Now take your other hand and put it above your knee like this. Now take your hand that's on your knee, bring it up, hit the hand that's in the air, and back to your knee. People just joining us are going, what kind of show is this? What? All right, so here's what you did. Put your knee, you're going to hit your knee, knee, hand, knee, knee, hand, knee, knee, hand, knee, just like that. So it's, or you can say it's down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. So really slowly, that's the shuffle rhythm, okay? So let's try that, and we'll just, now by the way, you want to move to your opposite knee. So if you're right-handed, play it on your left knee. If you're left-handed, play on your right knee. Hand above the knee, and you're going to hit your knee twice. Knee, knee, hand, knee, 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 hand, knee. Or if you prefer, it's down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. A little faster. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. A little faster. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. A little faster. Down, down, up, down. And stop. Now that's the rhythm you're going to play when you hold the spoon. So I'm going to show you how to hold the spoons. Hold on 1 second. But when you hold the spoons, you're going to play that same rhythm like this. Watch. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Because when you play it faster, it sounds like this. Down, down, down. Now it's going with the fiddle. Okay? So here's how to hold the spoons. First, take your hand that you write with or draw with and make a fist. Okay? So make a nice tight fist like this. Now put your thumb on the outside of the fist, just like that. Now turn your fist so your thumb is pointing straight up toward the ceiling right now, okay? So just like that. All right. Now pick up your first spoon. And what you're going to do is put that spoon right behind that thumb, okay? So right like that. So you're going to make, so you see where you, am I still on screen like this or am I off screen?
You're off.
Okay. Okay. So let me hold it up close. You're going to take the spoon and tuck it right in behind the thumb, poke it down into your, like into the mushy part of your palm there, and just wrap your fingers around. So it should be pointing the same direction so you could eat some soup with that soup spoon, that direction, okay? All right, now here's the tricky part. You take the next spoon and you turn it around back to back, okay? Not the way they fit in a drawer like this, okay? You're going to turn this one back to back. And you're going to tuck this one, watch here one time. You're going to tuck this one between the next two fingers, okay? Your first and second finger, okay? Like that. Okay, there, that's a better angle maybe to look at it. This is kind of what I'm looking at, okay? And the tips of the spoons should meet down here in the palm of your hand, okay? Just like that. And then you just wrap your fingers around, holding the tips together. Now, you don't need to squeeze your hand. Don't squeeze this part between the two fingers. Don't squeeze there because they don't work as well, first of all. And second, this finger in the middle, that will start to hurt. So a nice loose grip, just so they're together. And the last thing is there should just be a little bit of space between them. Okay, so if they're like this, that's not good. And also if they're touching, they're not going to make a sound. So if they're far apart, just watch what you can do. Push them down into your hand. And the farther you push them into your hand, the closer they get. See? And also if they're touching, need a little more space, just pull them up out of your hand a little bit so that there's just a little bit of space like that, just between them. Okay. Now what you're going to do is you're going to tap them very lightly on your opposite knee. Okay. You don't have to hit them hard. Don't hold the spoons hard. Don't hit them hard. If you just let them fall onto your knee, they'll make a nice clicking sound like that. So go ahead and try that. Just drop it onto your knee and you should get a nice clicking sound. Now what I want you to do is take your other hand, put it above your knee, right above the spoons, and just go up and down. Get one click out of your hand and one click out of your knee, just like that, okay? And stop. Now let's try to play that rhythm. Who remembers the name of the rhythm? Anybody out there? Karen? It's the shuffle, right? The shuffle rhythm. So here's how you play the shuffle rhythm. Hold the spoons in your hand, put your hand above your knee, and I'll show you one time. Watch. I'm going to hit my knee, knee, hand, knee, knee, hand, knee, knee, hand, knee. Go ahead and try that. It's knee, knee, hand, knee, knee, hand, knee, knee, hand, knee. Again, or it's down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. A little faster. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. A little faster. Down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. A little faster. Down, up, down, down. Just like that. And stop. And that's all there is to it. That's basic spoon playing. And that's the shuffle rhythm. And with that rhythm, you can play along to many, many instruments and many kinds of songs. Okay, just like this. Just like that. Now, I'll show you a couple of tricks you can do once you get that, because I think that you'll be able to watch this again later. Is that right, Karen? You can just shake your head if they...
I'm sorry, I was reading the last comment. What was it?
Will they be able to watch this later if they want to, like... Okay, I'm going to show you a couple advanced tricks for the spoons that you can try. Once you get this down, there's a couple of things you can do. The first one is called the drum roll. Watch this. It goes like this. Cool. Here's how you make the drum roll. You take your hand that's above your knee. You're going to turn it sideways like this and stretch your fingers out as hard as you can. And you're going to take the spoons and roll them along your fingers, underneath your fingertips, like right where your knuckle is, underneath your fingers there, like along here. But you got to keep your fingers apart, because if you don't, it's not going to drum roll. You got to keep them apart, stretched out as hard as you can. So watch, I'm going to put them right above my knee. I'm going to roll the spoons. Let me see if I get a little bit of a side shot. And you're going to roll the spoons along your fingers, just landing on your knee. You get a nice little drum roll. Oh, the ants go marching one by one, hurrah, hurrah. The ants go marching one by one, hurrah. I've been watching Nickelodeon a little too much this year. Okay, so you have the shuffle, and you have the drum roll. The last one sounds like an animal. I'm going to play it and see if some of you boys and girls out there try to guess what animal it is. Sounds like this. Watch. What animal do you think that sounds like? A horse. And what's the horse doing? He's running. He's galloping. And you know why he's galloping? Because the fiddle player is chasing him with scissors. I know. All right, sorry. Thank you for laughing. Okay, so that's all there is to it. You have the shuffle. You have the drum roll. You can throw that in. And every now and then you can throw in the horse gallop. And when you put those three things together, you can sing songs like this. Oh, had a little chicken and he wouldn't lay an egg, so I poured hot water up and down its leg, and the little chicken hollered and the little chicken begged, and the darn little chicken laid a hard-boiled egg. Hard-boiled. Did you ever go swimming on a sunny summer day with the little fishes swimming up and down the bay with their hands in their pockets and the pockets in their pants, and the old little fishes do the hoochie coochie dance? The hoochie coochie dance. Okay, anybody go to summer camp? I don't know if there's going to be summer camp this year, but for those of you who have been to summer camp, not just the kids, the grown-ups too, if you've been to summer camp, you'll learn this song. So sing along goes like this. Do your ears hang low? Do they wobble to and fro? Do they wobble in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? Can you throw them over your shoulder like a continental soldier? Do your ears hang low? Okay, I'm going to end up with a spoon solo now as fast as I can. Watch carefully. My fingers never lose my hands. Here we go. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, go, Mark! Ooh. Ah. America's Got Talent. Big ending now. Thank you. The spoons. Thank you. Anyway, so try to play the spoons, and if you have any questions, let me know. By the way, you can get in contact me at any time, by the way, directly. My email is just my name. My email is markrust@markrust.com. How did I come up with that? And if you have any questions or further, and I don't know if it's okay for me to mention, by the way, while I'm mentioning, if you go to my site, markrust.com, there's all more information about anything at all. If you'd like more information about myself, there's background and bio, there's pictures there, there's my tour schedule, theoretically. There's recordings there for sale. There's videos you can watch. So go to markrust.com for more information, and you can send me an email as well. So if you have more questions about the instruments and the songs and music that we're doing today that you don't get your question in today, let me know, and I'll get back to you.
It looks like we might have a new question.
Okay,
as I'm scrolling down to see what it is. We can't see his spoons. They go below the camera view. How is he doing the horse?
Oh, okay. Oh, the horse. Okay, right. Let me show you how to do that. I don't think I explained that, actually. Okay, so the horse gallop. Now, when you're doing, I'm assuming you can see this, okay? Now, normally, when you're doing the shuffle, you're going like this. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Now, for the horse gallop, what you're going to do when you do a little bit of a side angle here, when the spoons hit your hand, your middle finger comes across like this and catches the spoons on their way back down to your knee. So normally it looks like this. Dum, 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 dum. But when the spoons hit my hand, I'm going to catch them with my middle finger, and it's going to go like this. Now, you don't have to pick it. A lot of people try to pick it with you don't have to pick it. It'll just do that as it goes by. So don't move that middle finger. Don't try to pick the spoons. Just leave it out there, and it'll catch the spoons. Doing it slowly, it doesn't work as well. But when you do it faster, it goes like this. And all I'm doing is, when it hits my hand, middle finger comes over, and it hits that finger on the way back down to my knee. So it goes dun, 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 like that. Was that helpful?
Helped me.
Okay.
So I wanted to thank you, Mark. This is absolutely wonderful. You're a wonderful musician. I've enjoyed being your co-host here today.
Great.
And I'd really like to, I've neglected to mention this early at the beginning, but I also really want to thank two different individuals, the Friends of the Library, who helped contribute to being able to have you come, but also and I of course wrote it down, I can't think what it is, but the Putnam Arts Council gave us a grant to be able to do this. And so it is huge. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
We appreciate it. People don't realize that these budgets don't come from like people buying a ticket to come to the show. That's not where the money comes. It comes from grants and subsidies and things like that. So we're very appreciative. Those of us all in the performing arts, we wouldn't be here without that kind of help. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Can you do one more song for us? How
about want a song on the guitar, a little hammered dulcimer, perhaps?
I think that would be great. I'm going to duck out so that people can see you better. And thank you again for everybody for coming.
All right. I'm going to have to move the angle here a little bit and bring it up. So I'm sorry about the jostling because I have to bring the hammered dulcimer over so that you can see it. All right. So here we go. Let me see if I can move you, get a better, I'm going to pick you up. And then move the angle down like this. Yeah, that's a little bit better. I don't think you can see me in the dulcimer. So this is the hammered dulcimer. I guess we're going to end up with this one. What we have is a trapezoid-shaped box. Strings going across it held up by these bridges. And in each hand, you hold one of these small wooden mallets or hammers. And you're going to take, and they're made out of a piece of hard wood. You can see it. And at the end of this curved part, that curved part is the part that hits the string. And it's curved at the other end to just go lightly between your thumb and first finger. You just sort of wiggle it like that. And you're going to hit the string like this. Maybe if I move it back, that would be better even. Oh yeah, that's better. And so I'm holding one of these hammers in each hand and going around and hitting the strings that I want. And by the way, there's another instrument you all know where hammers hit a string, and that's the piano. If you look inside a piano, you'll see in front of the strings little hammers like this. And when you press a note down on the piano, it makes the hammer hit the string. This is the instrument pianos came from. In America, we call it a hammered dulcimer, but it's known as a santur. Originally comes from Persia, about 7th century. And I think this is one of my all-time favorite instruments. So let me play this for you. Sounds like this. Hammer dulcimer.
Thank you, Mark. That was just wonderful.
Sure. Are we still on, or are we done?
We are still on.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for stopping by the show. It's great to be able to, in these kind of weird times, to still be able to have some fun and play some music with all of you. I appreciate you coming by and saying hello. Continue to, once the library gets back open, come and see all their great programs. And if you'd like to know when I'm doing a show live somewhere, sign up on my mailing list at my site, and I'll let you know when I'm going to be near your town, and come to a show then.
Thank you, Mark, and thank you everyone for coming, and we'll hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.
Take care of yourselves, everybody.